Don't we all want the same thing in this life? A world of harmony, a world of peace, a world of love, a world of freedom. We all want that. So then the question is, how do we get it? And we as a human family have tried many different ways. We've tried revolution, we've tried changing our government, we've tried changing different things, but fundamentally, ultimately, it takes each one of us one by one being willing to wake up and be free. That will change the world. And so then, how committed are you to that? And that becomes the test of life. Because we have our animal drives and desires that bring us in a certain direction. And then we have this choice of, are we going to make a difference in this world? Make it a world of harmony and peace by contributing to harmony instead of to disharmony. And that becomes one of the many choices in our life that brings us to face ourselves.
The way we contribute to disharmony is with our unnecessary suffering. And our unnecessary suffering is the narrative that overlays the experiences of life. We all have those narratives. It's an aspect of being a human. And there's nothing wrong with the narrative, except when it contributes to suffering everywhere. And your suffering when it is unnecessary, when it's not just a direct response to some real problem like starving or being bombed or having to run for your life or hiding or great pain or disease or dying. Many areas where we naturally feel pain and we suffer for that. No problem. All animals have that, and probably plants as well. But the unnecessary suffering is our particular and individual contribution to the unnecessary suffering in the world. So when we are able to take responsibility for that, it's a sobering moment. And it's a moment of, of maturity. So we invite you to welcome that maturity into your thinking process, into your mind, so that your heart and your true desire, as Eli said, which is for this greater truth and harmony, to let that shine, for you to be a contribution to that.
And so we all want that. Of course, who would be on this call and say, no, I don't want to shine. I don't want to be in harmony. I don't want to be living a life of fulfillment and love. Of course, everyone wants that. That's a given. But then to actually be willing to show up for it as it is the challenge. And so it's really about individual willingness. There's no method to our, there's no way of waking up. There's no particular thing to do or not do. But there has to be a willingness for whatever it takes. At least that's my experience. I don't know if you would.
Well, the willingness is the recognition that you are causing your own misery, your own unnecessary misery. And in that there is a calling on your particular evolution or on the development of your brain to actually have the wherewithal, which is the courage, to see how exactly you are contributing to your own and others' suffering, to see what the particular narratives are that you have to tell yourself and believe and then follow, as a slave follows a tyrant of a master. And the good news that we are here to support and confirm and also challenge in you is that what you are seeking in this fulfillment and this harmony, what you desire in that, is already alive within you. Not in your particular narratives, Except sometimes the narrative gets really good and you can tell yourself all kinds of good things, but that's unreliable. That narrative also meets falls, and you can tell yourself horrible things. What's underneath and deeper and closer than that narrative is what we are here to support. It's so great to be here like this. This time last year, which seems like lifetimes ago, we were in Australia meeting with Australians. This meeting was originally set up to be the Australian meeting, but of course it's open. It's an open meeting, so whoever wants to tune in can. But we were reflecting on it. Well, that time in Australia was intense because there were major fires, and we got to see that actually the fear of some future climate change events was actually here. It was happening in present time. But we weren't aware of COVID-19 to any degree then. It was only when we came back home and the lockdown started and the meetings, the physical meetings with people stopped, that we were able to find this kind of meeting, these Zoom calls, which we had both found have been, well, they are miraculous when you think that we're meeting from all over the world here, as if we're in each other's room, living room, bedroom, wherever you're meeting, in a way that's quite intimate. So while we lost our physical presence with each other, we didn't lose our true presence with each other. And these Zoom calls are in support of the recognition of that true presence. So I just wanted to celebrate that for a moment. We're so aware of the hard things that are happening now. I mean, thankfully in the U.S., if he ever actually leaves the White House, it looks like we have a change, hopefully back to some normal operating. We've been led by a cult leader these past 4 years, so we're celebrating that, but also just celebrating the possibility that given obstacles to our meeting, we can transcend those obstacles. Of course, you need particular technology to transcend in this way, but you can transcend with no technology. If you find yourself alone with no electricity, which could happen today, we're having storms here, and we've been warned that the electricity could go out. So obviously, any of that can happen at any time, but the meeting that we are here to support is a meeting within your own heart of your own self. And all the beings throughout time who have ever glimpsed that are in support of that for you, backed by this desire for a harmonious universe, harmonious civilization.
So the question is, how? How to reflect on yourself. How to see yourself in a way that you haven't before. To turn towards the unknown. Because everything that's been seen is not it. What's unseen, what hears with our ears but can't be heard, what sees with our eyes and can't be seen. To realize this as yourself directly is the end of this personal suffering that Gangaji has been speaking of. Because once you realize the truth of yourself, there's a whole layer of story that can't be supported, that is seen through. The story of being a victim. Probably everybody in this world has a good victim story. How it didn't happen for you the way it should have. And the reasons for that. Because of your parents, because of your culture, because of your class, because of whatever it might be. There's always a very good reason to be a victim. And this victim story is only supported by the one who's suffering. And so to see through, to see what can't be seen with the eyes, to see yourself directly and realize yourself directly, and stay true to yourself, then that victim story disappears. You don't fight it or make it go away or do anything. It's gone. You can't be a victim when you're awake.
Takes activity of your own mind stream to support that story. And we don't want to trivialize true victims. There are victims in the world, and it's not making light of that. And you probably have been victimized yourself before. It's the continuation of that that makes it unnecessary. We are here. That means we escaped somehow. We made it to here. And in that, you are a victor, not a victim. And when you are willing to be a victor, you can relax for a moment. The beauty of this invitation from Papaji and from Ramana is not about giving you more to do, to escape, about recognizing that where you are right now, in the depths of yourself, is free. The truth of yourself is freedom itself. So while we want these good things and we hope that we will find them and we have worked for them, this particular invitation is to really simply stop doing anything to get it. Because if you're trying to get free of the victim story, you're still identifying as the victim. So to simply be still, radically be still, to let your mind open. You don't have to worry about your heart opening. Your heart is by its nature open. You let your mind open and be here. You made it. And this is the beginning. And our meeting together is to confirm that and to challenge you in the willingness with the invitation to see if you can discover a bottom to that, or a boundary to that, or separation anywhere from that.